up after about 7 months. It's been through cold, lots of rain all summer, very hot, and it's now cold again. You can see the leaves are changing, and it's been getting some rain, and so far it's looking good. I was kind of worried that we might be getting some delamination where the siding peels away from the foam, which in this case is the canvas covered up in that glue. But as you can see here, I mean, so far it's so good. I had a dream the other night that it was bubbling up right here, but I mean, I thought it was real, but I guess it was just a dream because there's no bubbles. But it's looking good up here. All the seams. This is one that was in one of the videos. It's all covered up. This is just some sealant that I put underneath here. This is just like a flap of PVC that I used to make sure no water got in the top of the door right there, which I covered up the sides, made a flap coming over. I'll show you here in a minute how that goes. But so far it's holding up good. Did a little paint job. It's dirty right now. I haven't washed it in like a month or so, especially since it's been raining. Come check the roof. Solid. See, it's kind of like a rhino lining finish if you just put the glue right over the canvas and paint it and you don't do any sanding, which I don't mind. I kind of like it. Come over to this side. See, that looks good. So this is where the foam two pieces came together, and you can see the seam a little bit. Now that it's covered up and glued and painted, it's really almost not even there. It's more prominent on the sides here. You can see it a lot more, actually, because this top sheet folds all the way over and ends right there. The bottom sheet comes all the way up, folds over, and ends right here, which is why it has that seam. And I folded it over this way, obviously, so that this is not on the top. It's facing down. If it does peel up, water goes down, doesn't come in the side. But she's holding up good. Underneath here, we used these strips. I'm not even sure what exactly they were for, but they look like foam and they were sticky. As you can see, they weren't that sticky, but that's after 7 months of being in the back. But I used that to put in between as a layer between the truck bed and the bottom of this. As you can see, it has some dents. That's because the side is foam and it was dinged up when I was just having it in the garage, building it originally. See, it looks like this doesn't like to stick very well. The truck camper hasn't come off one single time since it's been put on. So I don't know if maybe the whole thing would peel off if I took it off, or if it would stick just because it's been being clamped down, and these parts haven't been clamped down. But you see the front looks good. We had to cut, this is all one piece, goes all the way down, folded it over. We cut it, folded this side over, and then folded this over the top of that so that this would hold it down a little bit better. Maybe I should have done it this one underneath and that one on top just for aerodynamic reasons. But I just ended up putting a lot of glue and paint right there, and it's been holding up pretty good. You see that line? Didn't cut the canvas too perfectly in all the spots, but it works out. I feel like I could easily put like some caulking and go across this and just make that look super smooth. But it's good for me. This is the back. This one does face the front. It's because I put some extra pieces to do the back. I actually did one big piece on the side, one big piece over the top, and then one big piece on this side. But then I went and did small pieces for here and a small piece for here, and then I threw another piece over the top, which is why you're gonna see this seam right here before I put this top piece on, so that there was quite a few layers and everything's gonna come together right here and be pretty sturdy. Everything's holding up great. Go down this side. See, so I actually did put a little bit of caulking right here just to see, but it was the wrong kind and it doesn't look good. And I just did it with my finger real quick and easy. So if you did some effort, you might be able to make that look real nice. But the front looks good, some bugs. There's this dent, that's just from the foam that was dented, because the cloth pretty much shows any imperfection underneath, because it's pretty thin. So right there, I didn't do the best job. You can kind of see that, but it's all adhering still. There's no peeling, nothing's coming off. It's holding up great. Go up this side. Again, right here is where two pieces came together, they interlocked, and I just didn't put enough spray foam and take enough time to make that look smooth. So, because it was kind of the end of the project and like the last side I was doing, so I got kind of lazy with it. But it's holding up good. You just see a little lump right there, not too big of a deal. Again, we folded that over. This is all one piece, just cut right there. And then we've got the side, just a little more close up. Nothing's peeling up. Solid. When you put that glue and just soak the canvas with it, it really just becomes like a rock. That's what makes this thing waterproof. I have foam underneath on these sides, but on the back, I did cover the foam with real thin, I think it was 5/16 plywood, just so that I could get this door to screw down, because I wasn't sure how I was gonna screw foam door onto a foam camper. So what I ended up doing was just put a piece of wood over the back, but everything else, the side, the roof, the front, that's all foam. I did put an inner wooden skeleton to help clamp it to the bed, because again, I wasn't sure how that was going to work with the foam. But check it out. And also I needed to lock it. So this is wood. I cut out another piece of wood to put on here so that this latch could go right there. And the reason I did that was to compensate for this. I put this flap right here. I'll show you guys here in a second. But since that popped up, that made this stick up, 5/16 of an inch. I had to go and just put another piece of wood 5/16 of an inch on here. Some people have said that, you could just pop these off with a screwdriver or whatever and break in, but I was thinking of putting some resin, covering these screws up, and then painting over it, and you won't even be able to tell. But if someone really wants in, they're going to get in. I'm not too worried about it. There's nothing valuable in there. But again, we have this lock. They lock. When we go inside of it, we lock it up so that the worst someone can do is do that. When you're in it, nobody can actually shut it. But once we're inside of it, we do have a couple of things that slide over so that you don't have someone just open it up on you. Now I got lazy again at the end, and I didn't screw this piece of wood to anything. It's cut out of foam. This is a 2-inch thick foam piece, and I cut this little notch out so that this wood could run along the side of it, so that this plywood sheet that I put on the back has something to clamp onto. I got lazy again and just had some leftover screws, and I've been meaning to cut these down, but I just watch your head. But anyways, this falls out, and now that it's raining, it's swelled up, and I can't really get it all the way back inside of there. But you can see underneath, since that keeps falling out, it's messing this up. That is just the canvas that has the glue on it. That's the canvas with the glue that's painted, but that's just glue. And then I just glued I used that glue to just put this down, just a real thin layer of it. But that keeps popping out. No big deal. I just got to fix that. But we got these guys. Now, one thing, when I did get this, I just kind of sent it. I closed it. I put it on. I went to shut it, and it almost broke the door off. So I realized I need to fix that. So I went and I looked up how to do it properly, and realized that instead of here, I needed them to be way down here. Now the door opens and closes properly. Works no problem. And again, I put wood on the end here because what else was I going to attach this to? But it's a wood frame around the bottom. This is foam, but then we got wood right there. And then we put some little bit of wood on the side for some storage, things like that. We've got this backup camera that we're going to put on because we can't see anything behind us other than out the side mirrors. We got this fan we still need to put in, which originally I put a hole right there for it and put that support in when I built it. I just haven't been able to put it in yet. This guy's holding up great. Table just flips down. Just got to watch and put that inside every now and then. I don't know, something's stuck in it right now. I'm just gonna leave it down. It was working great up until right now. But yeah, the bed, this is the foam that the camper's built out of. All this right here. So it's 2 inches thick. You can see that this 2 inches thick, and then we've got that piece of plywood on there, just kind of like that. But everything else is just foam. That's just foam. The roof's just foam. I wanted to keep it lightweight because it's just a little baby truck. And then also I had all this extra foam laying around, so I just made a bed with it. And this is just some bed frame that I chopped up to fit across it because I gotta lay sideways because I'm just a little bit too long. It's 6-foot bed, but when you lay down, I'm only 5'11", but when you lay down, it just doesn't work out. Especially with this 2-inch thickness that closes in on it. But yeah, it's holding up great. There's a few minor things I gotta fix, like that, like I said. These guys, I think this one right here, the back might be coming a little bit loose. I gotta fix that. But the clamps, this guy's just held down with 4 bolts. See right underneath there. It just bolts right to the frame of this. So that's just sandwiched on like that. And these cutouts were already like this. There's a cutout in all 4 corners because when I bought this truck, it just had like a stock topper on it. But the windows were all busted out. The carpet was all nasty. It was old, and it was only this tall. You know, I needed something tall so I could sit up. So I ended up just reusing all the cutouts. I've got like a little small axe in there, a little bike lock shoved in there, spot to clean up. Gets a little messy. Got the fake carpet. Got just a bunch of storage underneath the bed. See, that's just all foam frame. This sits on top of this part, and then the foam sits on top of that, and then I got like a 4-inch topper, which is wrapped up in this. I just use that sleeping bag right there. There's the hole for that, which was cut for an unrelated reason, but it actually works great. Now that I have the bed like this, I can just throw shit in and out of there. Put some hooks up there. I'm not happy with the lights. They're all messed up. I don't know what's up with them. I gotta peel them down and get some, I guess, higher quality ones. They're just cheap LEDs, and half of them don't work. And when they do work, they only work half the time. But yeah, again, four things holding it down. Just utilizing all this extra foam. And I just cut, you know, like I cut in for this wood to be notched out and sitting in there. That's how it is everywhere here. One thing I do regret, which is kind of tough to work on, because I would come in here and like measure it out upside down, and then I would go outside and then try to like think how exactly the angles would cut. So I would like cut an angle this way when it was supposed to be cut that way, and I ended up pretty much botching it under here. But it still comes together and fits. It's just this was supposed to be angled that way so that this came up nice and flush, but I ruined that. Over here, I didn't ruin it as bad, but it still just doesn't look good. I could fix it, I just haven't yet. And on the middle, this part looks pretty good. But then if you come under here and you look, it's again not perfect. And you can see the glue. But it works. There's a gap on the inside, but it's fully waterproof on the outside. Nothing's coming through. I'm pretty happy with it. The wood frame's holding up great. Again, something I didn't think about since I was building the side. I built the side frame and just, you know, cut the notches out, put the whole thing inside of here. You can watch some other videos to see that. So the sides, it comes together great, right? But then the middle, since I put the piece of wood, like over here, the 1x2 is this way. In the middle, the 1x2 is this way. So that resulted in it, you know, it started out flush at the bottom, but as it gradually moves up towards the top here, since it's just different angle and the way it's shaped, it sticks out, and I have it basically as high as I can mounted in there, but that's just the way that was. Both of these are like that, but it's not too big of a deal. It still holds it up great. It bounces a little bit in and out of there, but it's solid. Sides are solid. See the roof? I mean, for foam. And then this is just glued inside, which if you look, you can see the glue. I just used like liquid cement, liquid nails or something like that, I can't remember, to actually stick the wood inside of the foam. But it worked out. It's been holding up for over 7 months. I've done some stuff to test it, and it's held up pretty good. So I'm happy with it. It's going on. And I'm sure after a year, this stuff's still going to be solid. I've been seeing a lot of people's builds that use this poor man's fiberglass technique on their campers, and they're doing, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7 year updates, and it looks pretty good. Sometimes you have the delamination where it starts bubbling up over time, but we haven't run into that issue yet. Yeah, right here I don't really like. I just kind of brought this cloth down, ended it, and then brought this over, ended it. So if I got a little trim piece we could put on that, would make it pretty nice. But for now, you know, we gotta fix this. Just need some more glue. I need to chop the piece off of that, put that in there, and actually like staple it or screw it, whatever, instead of just glue it, because now it's starts popping out. See, that's what I did. Since I did it to this and I forgot to do that to that, it fell out. But it's no big deal. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's holding up. Been 7 months. See the roof solid. If you guys want to see some more, check out the channel. There's some videos on how I built it. You can see the insides of the walls if this doesn't make sense on here. But thanks for tuning in. See you next time.